What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy. And y'all know how we do. We just talk about whatever's on our mind. And what is on my mind today is this whole Kendrick versus Drake thing, so to speak. Just kind of give y'all my subjective opinion on this whole thing without going too deep into it. So let's start with Drake. I was introduced to Drake, I want to say 2009. The homie from Saginaw, Michigan, I think is where he's from, put me on to Drake. And he was like, it's this guy from Canada. He's working with Lil Wayne, blah, 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 blah. And, I remember hearing like the Successful with Trey songs and, his first core group of hits. And I remember saying like, dude can rap. And he can sing a little bit. Like, that's interesting. And he's kind of doing both at the same time, kind of flip-flopping, and he can actually sing. Like, he's really trying to sing. This ain't like a 50 Cent or a Ja Rule, like, half singing. Like, this dude is really trying to sing. And I thought his story was interesting. Got discovered by one of the Prince boys from Rap A Lot. Prince boys tried to hook him up with Young Money. Wayne wasn't feeling them at first, but somehow, some way, he got signed to Young Money. And now he's the Drake that we all know and some of us love. I don't know if I can say I'm a Drake fan, and this is just my honest opinion. I think he is very, very, very talented. I think at the end of the day, he will go down as one of the GOATs, one of the best to ever do it. And I think he may be even at that level now. And I ain't talking about, when we talk about my definition of what a GOAT is, there's a lot. It's just not lyricism. It's just not album sales. There's a few things that go into that. And I'll try to ramble them off. I forget them, but I think lyrical ability, performance-wise, like how well do you perform on the stage, on camera, even recording in the studio, your delivery, that's part of your performance. Cultural impact, like what trends did you start? What slang did you start? What fashion trend did you make popular? Lyrical ability, performance, cultural impact, commercial success. I know a lot of people start saying, oh, they don't have to be a platinum selling artist to be the GOAT. I disagree. I think you have to have some type of commercial success. You don't have to be platinum every time you come out. You don't have to be the highest selling artist of all time, but I think you do have to have some type of of commercial success. So when you add all those things, like you don't have to be the best in all of those, but you got to kind of have some level of achievement in all of those type of things. And I think Drake, fits that bill. Just to be honest, what do I not like about Drake? I'm not a singy type of guy. I've never, and this may be super immature of me, I've never been a big fan of R&B music. I think that's because of just my upbringing. Like, bro, the first tape that got put in my hands was Coming Out Hard from 8 Ball and MJG. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I would go around, I'm reminded, one of my mom's best friends growing up, we spent a lot of time over her house, and she had 3 sons. All of them were older than me. One of them was like 2 years older than me, and the other 2 were older than him. And a lot of my introduction to hip hop took place in that apartment. Willowwood Apartments in Albany, Georgia, or Willywood as we call it. If anybody from Albany is watching this, I spent a lot of time in Willywood as a youngster because my mom's best friend lived in, actually, technically it was Forest Park that was right in front of Willywood, but it's kind of all the same hood, so to speak. And so her sons were listening to Scarface, Ghetto Boys, Eazy-E, what's them boys from Flint, Michigan? Dang, what's them boys? Dayton Family, Top Authority. Like, they were listening to that type of stuff. So that's what I was introduced to. And I think that really formed my preference in music. Now that I'm older, I like reggae, I like jazz, I like lo-fi, but hip hop by far is my favorite genre. When it comes to R&B, I like the old soul stuff, you know, Isaac Hayes and Curtis Mayfield and Isley Brothers, Barry White, stuff like that. I ain't really like, there's a few songs here and there that came out in the 90s and the 2000s that I like. I'm a Chris Brown fan. I like Chris Brown, but outside of that, I'm not really big on R&B. And with Drake doing all that singing, a lot of times it's just hard for me to get into. The other thing that I don't like about Drake's music is, don't get me wrong, I know that boy pen is crazy. I know he does not need a ghostwriter. Like, I know this. The boy's serious, right? I know this. But in my opinion, I think if you've ever used a ghostwriter as a hip hop artist, that just, you know, I know people want to come up with every excuse for it in the world, but honestly, mid-90s, early 2000s, if people had ghostwriters, they kept it on the low, and you would probably be laughed out of the game if they, I mean, just imagine if they discovered that Biggie had a ghostwriter, what that would do to his legacy. If they discovered that Jay-Z, Andre 3000, Scarface, Tupac, the list goes on and on and on. Just think about how we would have looked at them if they had ghostwriters. Now, as a former rapper, getting stuck on a bar and getting somebody to give you a little bit of input, that's different. Or you can't come up with the hook, somebody giving you the hook, like that's different. But for somebody to do a whole reference track so you can hear it and get the cadence, and they giving you like all the stuff, like that's, call it what you want. Maybe it's the new game, maybe it's common now, maybe it's not a big thing, but bro, don't get me on my young old head hip hop stuff. I'm gonna throw one more in there. When I was coming up, a freestyle was really a freestyle. I don't know how anything is called a freestyle when your homies that are in the back are rapping along to what you're saying. Like, back in my youth, a freestyle was off the dome. It was, yeah, but anyway. So regardless of how common or how accepted it may be now, I don't know about that one. But I will say the boy's crazy, the boy's talented, and despite whatever went on this year with him and Kendrick, I think he'll be good. Let me respond to this. My bad, y'all. Because if I don't respond to this, somebody's going to come and interrupt the video because I didn't respond. And this is kind of an urgent question. Anyway. That threw me off. Let's move to Kendrick. I will be honest. I'm going to tell y'all when I became a Kendrick fan. I remember people mentioning his name like 2010, 2011, maybe 2012. I would hear the name, I would see the names on the mixtape sites and stuff, but I never really looked into it. Good Kid, Mad City comes out, of course. There are songs that you just couldn't ignore. The Swimming Pools, I think, was one of his songs. I always liked that song. It was hard to ignore that. The song with him and Drake, Poetic Justice, it was hard. So I would hear stuff, I would like it, but I didn't really get into Kendrick until I went to LA for the first time. And LA was so intriguing to me that I don't know why. I just really got deep into their culture. And I sat while I was in LA, even some of this riding through Compton specifically, listening to Kendrick, like all the albums that had ever come out up until that point. And that's when I can honestly say I became a Kendrick fan. This was like 2021, I believe, so not that long ago. And I'll do the same thing, what I like about Kendrick and what I don't like. I think he is a genius of a lyricist. I think, it's been said that he's not really a commercial rapper. It's kind of hard for him to make hits, but I think he's all shown us that that's not the case. I think he kind of is one of the better ones, and J. Cole, and there's some others that kind of can straddle that line of being non-mainstream but mainstream at the same time. Like they're being mainstream while being themselves, if that makes sense. That's what I like most about Kendrick. What do I not like about Kendrick? Some of his music gets too artsy for me. Like, I'm one of them people, like, I'm trying to bob my head. I need a beat. I need some 808s, or at least a strong kick. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the stories and the skits are dope, but sometimes his music just gets a little too artsy for me, right? I'm not one of them people that look for songs to motivate me. I'm not one of them people that get sad and depressed and I got songs I want to listen to help me out. That ain't me, right? I'ma just be honest. Music is entertainment for me. So even though I can appreciate some of those songs, not really my thing, and I'm more so concerned or impressed by how he frames them in his wordplay versus the fact that he was just trying to be super creative and different. Sometimes his vocal, like he does this weird thing with his vocals sometimes. He goes super high. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to think of what song he does, some of this song. But y'all know how Kendrick do. Sometimes his voice just gets weird. Like I don't know. But crazy with the pen. And overall, I think that boy was born to make music. And Drake too. I think Drake too. Was their destiny to be where they're at. Which one do I like best? Honestly, Kendrick. If you would have asked me this question 5 years ago, I probably would have said Drake. And my switch has nothing to do with the beef. I think Kendrick would have been my favorite starting in 2021 when I went through that whole little period of listening to all of his music and really just saying, okay, let me see why everybody keeps mentioning this guy. I think since then, he's been my favorite over Drake. Not my favorite, period, but favorite over Drake. At the end of the day, I think Drake is going to be fine. The dude is too popular to fall off. Man, Drake could probably come out and do the wildest, most get you canceled thing ever and would still be hella significant to the game. But I think in terms of just battling, Kendrick won this one by a landslide, and nothing Drake put out was whack. I didn't like the whole it's AI Tupac and Snoop on this track, but the whole push-ups thing and none of that was whack at all. It's just, I personally think Kendrick won because it's kind of like Drake was cocky before it all was said and done and was like, hey, you not responding to my last one. What's up? Don't punk out now. Where you at? And boy, Kendrick came out swinging. I think Euphoria, and here's a big statement. I love Tupac's Hit 'Em Up, DJ Quick Dollars and Cents, you know, even Ice Cube, No Vaseline, you know, acknowledging how significant Cube is to the game and how significant that song was because he went at all NWA members by himself. I think prior to now, Hit 'Em Up was the best diss song of all time. And there's other diss songs I like. Jeezy Stay Strapped is hard. Actually, if I find it, I'm going to post in the description. Somebody posted a list of their favorite diss songs, and it's one of the few hip-hop lists that I actually agree with, so I put it here. But anyway, I think Euphoria and Not Like Us are probably the two best diss songs of all time. That's my subjective opinion. Here's why. Euphoria, I think it's like 7 minutes long. Despite a few seconds, no hook, no nothing, no smack talk, just straight bars for 7 minutes. And nothing he said was mediocre. Like everything was like, damn. True story. My job has me all over the place. I was in Macon, Georgia the day Euphoria came out. I was in a meeting, and you know, you be looking at your phone and like, oh, Kendrick got this song. I was like, boy, I can't wait till I get out of this meeting. It's taking everything I got not to get up and go to the bathroom to listen to this song. Macon isn't far from where I live, here in the Atlanta area, maybe hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, something like that. I listened to Euphoria on repeat all the way from Macon to my house. So however many times you can play that song in an hour and a half, that's how many times I listened to it. Because I was amazed that that boy rapped that long and didn't say nothing whack. Here's the reason I say Not Like Us is probably one of the other best diss songs. There was a little bit of talk about, you know, Kendrick, he's not really known for making hits like that. And, you know, Drake is the hit guy. And lo and behold, here comes the conscious, non-mainstream rapper with the most commercial DJ Mustard beat of all time. Well, not of all time, but y'all get what I'm saying. And a hit is an understatement. Hit is and this is just me, I could be wrong. But, you know, I worked in certain job capacities where the radio was on all day. You couldn't really play the music you wanted to play because of, you know, vulgar language and other people in the office, other people in the warehouse. For a long time, I would not listen to anything but the radio when my kids were in the car because I didn't want them to hear some of the stuff I was listening to. So I said all that to say I'm kind of familiar with what the radio plays. And let me just tell you, I have never in all of my life, there's been some close ones, but I've never heard a song get played over and over and over and over and over again like Not Like Us. There are some close ones. From 50 to Drake to Future to Beyonce, there are definitely songs that I said, boy, I'm tired of hearing this. If they play this song one more time, sometimes you can feel the song about to come on before it even comes on. Like, I know what yep. I have never heard a song get played as many times as Not Like Us. And here's the thing. As many times as I've heard the song, I don't know why. I don't know if it's the beat. I don't know what it is. I don't get tired of hearing it. Now, I may not play the song, like put it on, but if it comes on in the radio, comes on at the Falcons game, wherever, I'm just kind of like, okay, what's it on the beat, ho? Man, call an ambulance. What's up with these jabroni? Man, look, I ain't tired of it. I may not put it on, but I don't get tired of the song. And that song, I mean, you're talking about so much spawned from that situation. Not only the radio play, Grammy, Super Bowl performance, GNX, which is a dope, great album. Yeah, like, let's just keep it real. Don't get me wrong, Future did his thing. Boss Man D-Lo did his thing. Drake did his thing. But as far as hip-hop, maybe even music as a whole, I think Drake and Kendrick kind of own 2024. And we're almost at the end of Q1 2025. And I think this controversy like still has the music industry in a chokehold. And I just think, you know, once again, when I say greatest, I'm not saying the most lyrical, the most disrespectful, but when you add in a bunch of different factors, I really think Euphoria and Not Like Us are possibly the best diss songs ever in hip hop. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Last thing I'm gonna say, I'm a Kendrick fan. I like his music, but I think I've been totally fair with this discussion. But let me say this: I like Lil Wayne more, and I'm about to make a point here. Now, I will say, for me, at Carter 3, it's kind of like, after Carter 3, I'm not sure I like that much of Wayne's work. Acknowledging that he's a hell of an MC, he's always been very lyrical, and maybe one day I'll do a video about Lil Wayne. After Carter 3, my enthusiasm for Wayne's music started to die down, and I think a lot of it is because of just how much he was putting out. Why do I say that? Why do I mention that? I mention that to say, even though I'm not crazy about Lil Wayne's last few releases, I think everything that he and Cash Money did up until that point makes me more of a Lil Wayne fan than I am of Kendrick Lamar, right? And one day I got to do a video about Wayne, because I got a point about why I think Wayne is one of the greatest that I don't think a lot of people even talk about. But with all that being said, I don't think Wayne was the right fit for the Super Bowl. I just don't think he was. I think Kendrick Lamar was the right call. And I think as much of a hip hop fan as I am, and as much influence that hip hop has had on the world, because at one point hip hop was the most influential genre in the world of all time, is what they were saying. I think there's only a handful of people that are good looks to be performing in situations like the Super Bowl. I don't think that's it. Like, Devin the Dude is one of my favorite rappers in the world, like top 3. But Devin the Dude at the Super Bowl now. You know, the Snoops, the Outkast, the Jay-Z's, the Wu-Tangs, the LL Cool J's, the Kendricks, maybe even the J. Cole's, the Drakes. Now, do I think Lil Wayne could have performed at the Super Bowl? Yes, but headline the entire thing? No. Like, yes, come out and join me on this song, Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? But now go on about your business. And, you know, when I look at my list of favorite rappers, I mean, Too Short is one of my favorite rappers. Super Bowl, nah. Jadakiss, nah. Um, I mean, Nas, like, is Nas even that type of rapper? I don't know. So I don't think Lil Wayne was equipped to headline. Let me clear that up. To perform, to come out and join Kendrick Lamar or any other artist that I just named that Lil Wayne has done work with, yes. To headline, no. 50 Cent is another, you know, the 50 Cents of the world. Those type of caliber artists, like they have the catalog and the notoriety and the proven track record when it comes to performing and touring and doing these things in front of a whole bunch of people. Here's the thing, Wayne is, I know he's probably performed in front of a lot of people and had sellout tours, and he's an arena type artist, but the Super Bowl, like I don't, to be a part of it, yes. To headline the entire Super Bowl, like no. So anyway, that's my opinion. I think Drake will be okay. I know he'll be okay, but I just think, and this is kind of removing the whole who started what and if Kendrick's beef is legit. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the music and how things have panned out. Like, I think Kenny kind of mopped the floor with old boy. We not talking about who's the richest. We not talking about who sold the most records. We are talking about 2024 and the beef that unfolded with those two. So anyway, that's my time, y'all. Y'all be cool.